This is Shred, and I want to welcome you to Composing with the Circle of Fifths. I need to ask you a serious question. What's the real reason you're interested in music theory? For me, it was always about making the ideas in my head real. I remember getting frustrated AF trying to write songs back in my teen years. I could hear amazing music in my head, but I didn't know how to play it. Now, this tormented me for the longest time. Eventually, I got so frustrated, I started reading up on topics like the Circle of Fifths. After a while, I understood the basic concept, but still it was like, how do you use the damn thing in your music? That ends now. Get ready, because this is an absolute game changer for songwriters and composers. Get my full course on composing with music theory for free at my Patreon page below. The video you're watching now is an excerpt from that course. In addition to the 60-minute masterclass, you also get the tabs, guitar profile, and backing track. Let's shred for 69 hours per day. So here it is, the infamous Circle of Fifths, and we start at 12 o'clock on the circle with the key of C. Now, you're going to love the fact that this key has no sharps or flats, so you don't have to worry about any of that bullshit. And it's called the Circle of Fifths because there's a fifth in between each key. So if we go in the clockwise direction, the difference between C and G is a fifth. So you can count that out in the musical alphabet: C, D, E, F, and G. That's really the whole concept behind this thing. Now here's another really important piece of information. Once you get to the key of G, moving clockwise one sector here, we start to add sharps. Now the one sharp that we're adding is F sharp. And every time we proceed clockwise through the Circle of Fifths, we're going to add an additional sharp. So for example, when we move to the key of D, which is another fifth away from G, we're going to add another sharp. So we already have F sharp in the key of G, but when we get to D, we have F sharp and also C sharp now. Now the sharps are also a fifth apart, just like the keys. So the difference between F sharp and C sharp is a fifth. F, G, A, B, C sharp. Now that covers the clockwise direction in the Circle of Fifths. If you continue on to A, everything works in the same manner. So from D to A is a fifth, and then we add another sharp that's a fifth apart from the last sharp. So now in the key of A, we have a total of 3 sharps. Now let's go back. Whew. Take a little breather here. Let your brain kind of regroup and reset. And now that we're back at 12 o'clock on the Circle of Fifths here, we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to take the left-hand path, Lord Satan's favorite direction. And when we go in this direction, it's a little bit different. So for those of you who understand intervals, you know that a fifth interval inverted becomes a fourth. So that's actually the distance between each key in the counterclockwise direction. But it's really just a fifth upside down. So if you count from C to F in the musical alphabet, C, D, E, F, bingo, that's 4. And the other thing that's different about the counterclockwise direction is we've got flats instead of sharps. So when we get to the key of F, we have one flat, and that flat is B flat. So when we get to B flat, we've got the B flat from F, but we're also adding an E flat. Now this is how it works all the way around the circle in the counterclockwise direction. When you get to E flat, that's a fourth away from B flat, and we add another flat from the B flat key. That's a fourth away from the last one. So now in E flat, we have B flat, we've got E flat, and we've got A flat. Whoa! Okay, I know this is a lot to take in, but there's only one more thing left you have to understand about the Circle of Fifths. If you notice the inner circle here, this is where the cool kids hang out. And these are all minor keys. Everybody knows, or at least if you're into metal music, you know that minor keys are way cooler than major keys. Come on, let's be honest. So here's how it works. A minor and C major contain the same notes. And the way that you find the relative minor of any major key works the same way regardless of the key, is you go down a minor third from the root. So if I'm on the note C here on the 8th fret of the low E string, and you know your intervals, a minor third down is A. Or you could think about this as being a step and a half. There's a whole step and then a half step. Modal interchange is the first modulation mechanism I want to show you. Check this out. You got A minor to B flat, major. Whoa! Now that's an emotion. Oh, very haunting, dark, and mysterious. So you can just get lost in a trance, a music theory trance, and play these over and over again and let it speak to you. You know, come up with some kind of idea that you can develop based on the mood. Writing off a mood is the way to be. A Lydian is next. So here we have 4 sharps. And if we look at the circle of fifths, we're in the key of E. That has 4 sharps, relative minor, C sharp minor, but also relative to A Lydian. So you could think of each key technically as 7 different keys if you want, because there's 7 different notes in the key and each note is a different mode. You're gonna love this one. So A major to B major. Oh, that's movie magic right there. A to B. So I'm just using inversions here, right? This is an A, and this is a B, and then next is an A and a B in a different voicing or inversion. But in the key of E, like I said. Okay, moving on. A mixolydian is next. And again, you can notice that every single one of these chords has an open A. And that's the modal interchange part. So we're interchanging different modes over a fixed root. And this is pretty much, in my opinion, the most powerful way to navigate through different keys smoothly. So here we go. A major and G major. That's the mixolydian sound. Another A to another G. That's the official mode of classic rock, a really cool sound. And here, we're in the key of D with 2 sharps. Okay, we got 2 more modes. Next is Aeolian. Now, Aeolian is the sad tearjerker mode, and it's relative to the key of C. This is the same thing as minor. Aeolian and minor are seen as the same thing. So you got A minor, here comes F. Ooh, that's nice. G, and then back to A minor. Beautiful. Beautiful sadness. So every one of these sounds that we're going through, you know, you want to catalog and put it away in your sonic tool belt so that whenever you're feeling a specific emotion, you know how to articulate that. That's basically the job of music theory, is to be able to take a shortcut to getting the sounds you want. All right, moving on to the last mode, every metalhead's favorite, Locrian, right? And here we're in 2 flats. So the key of B flat, we got B flat and E flat. Locrian is built off the 7th degree of the major scale. And the first chord here, A minor 7 flat 5. And actually that's the only chord we're going to be playing, because Locrian is just a static mood that has one vibe, and that's just pure fucking evil. That's the only sound, really. So have some fun with that one. Congratulations on completing part 1 of Composing with the Circle of Fifths. Next week, I'll be releasing the second segment. In this segment, we'll be talking about one of the most important things I learned at music school, the second modulation mechanism, pivot chords. If you've ever felt stuck when it comes to writing music, pivot chords are the perfect way to bail you out. In between now and the release of the next segment, I would love to see you write a little bit of music with modal interchange, the topic we covered in this week. Post your composition in the Discord chat for myself and others to check out. Full tabs for this lesson will be below, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments.